Guys, it's Jen. This is another Just For Me episode of Reframing Me. In these episodes, we take a few minutes just for us. We spend so much time looking outward and taking care of everyone else. And it's good for us to take a selfish and look inside once in a while. Because some days we just feel a little off, like something is out of line, clunky. Can you observe yourself as a witness, just looking on, without judgment, without thinking or planning or analyzing? Can you look at yourself like you were making a shopping list, going through your pantry and taking stock, without planning your trip to the store or your meals for the week, just observing what is in there and what isn't? Can you look at yourself like you were asked to describe a piece of artwork to someone replicating it, without analyzing the artist's intentions or process, just conveying what is? Can you look at yourself like you would if you were on a hike, looking around and taking in your surroundings, without judging or comparing, just witnessing what is? So do you ever have those periods of time when you just feel off? You can't put your finger on it. You just feel like you've lost your groove. Maybe it's only a particular day or a time period. I know yesterday my husband was at work. My daughter is away at cheer camp. One of the boys was with friends and the other was with his girlfriend. And the house was eerily quiet, something that this house absolutely never is. And I realized I felt off. I mean, to be honest, since we returned from vacation, I felt off. So that's like nearly a week. But it was in the silence of the house, I couldn't help but just see how off I actually felt. There wasn't any chaos to hide it under, I guess. So to observe myself as a witness, I had to work my way through the layers. The Kosha practice is a part of a Hindi philosophical tradition that looks at the Atman of our body. It's our self as being distinct from our body, our mind, and our ego. The koshas, or sheaths, are the 5 energetic layers of our body covering our true inner self, or our soul. If we want to get back to that blissful state of our inner soul, we need to work our way through the kosha. So can you observe yourself as a witness, just looking on, without judgment, without thinking or planning or analyzing? By peeling away the stories and the narratives and the emotions, we can truly see ourselves. We're not going in looking for a specific outcome. You are not analyzing. You are just taking note of what you see and what you feel. And you're allowing whatever is to be. Let whatever you come across be there because it already is. And a kosha practice isn't looking to fix it. You're definitely not looking to judge it. So as you move through your kosha and through the layers, you can reflect on, or even better, you can write down what you see. It's like you took a nature journal on that hike or a notepad into the pantry. Just take it all down. Start with your thoughts. And if you're like me, you always have a million of them running through your mind at every given moment. So take a few minutes to observe them. You can set your page up into quadrants. In one, you'll write thinking. One, you'll write analyzing. One, you write planning. And one, you'll write judging. For me, that's the one that probably fills up the quickest. Of course, you can certainly do this more of a meditation with the files kind of in your mind, but I'm a writer and I like to see it in front of me. So take inventory of the thoughts in your mind. Are you thinking, should I write it down or can I just think it in my head? Should I get my journal and try it right now or wait till later? You can jot those down in your thinking quadrant. Or are you thinking that you can spend 20 minutes on this only because you'll still have time then to work out and to shower before you need to leave the house to go pick up your son from his friend's house? Well, that goes down in planning. Are you thinking, I kind of feel stupid doing this? You can write that one down in judging. I think I'm fine. I think I have my groove already. Well, that goes down in analyzing. Oh, I just love this podcast. That's thinking. But wow, she can really be a bit woo woo, kind of out there, huh? That goes in judging. I forgot to pick up that prescription yesterday that I was supposed to. That's thinking. I needed to water those plants over there when I'm finished. That's planning. You're not trying to think things and you're not looking for thoughts. You're just taking notes of the thoughts as they pop up and pass through your mind. And then you're filing them away where they actually should be. Underneath these thoughts, though, that clear state, that's you. You are not your thoughts. You are not the plans. You are not the narratives or the emotions. All of that stuff, that's going to pass by. And that is where your self is. So after you have gone through this initial path and made it clear, you can start with that first layer, the outer sheath, Andamaya Kosha, or your physical body. So take note of any pain or any discomfort that you might feel. We're not here to judge why you have pain or whether you attribute it to your age or to physical fitness or to an activity that might have caused it. Or you're not here to think about how you might have gotten that pain or how to fix it. Notice, is there heat anywhere in your body, or tingling, or softness, or tightness? Do you feel the wood from the chair pressing into the back of your leg? Do you feel the air in your house? Is it feeling cold? Or maybe it's feeling too warm. But pinpoint how your physical body feels. The second sheath is the pranamaya kosha, the layer of your breath and energy. Prana is going to sound familiar to you. Prana is probably one of the more appropriated Sanskrit words. And our prana holds together the body and the mind. So it's the sheath between that first layer, which was your body, and the third layer, which is your mind. For me, this was one where I really noticed yesterday that yes, something is off. It wasn't so much in my breath, although you may notice your breath being heavy or light or deep or shallow. But it's in the energy for me. The best way I could describe it was chunky. Like my energy was sluggish. I wasn't sluggish or tired because that would have been part of the body sheath. The energy just felt stuck or slow, like it wasn't flowing right. I was just there to observe it. I'm not going to change it, and I'm not analyzing why or judging it for being that way right now. It just is. The third layer is the manamaya kosha. This is the mind. Our thoughts, our emotions, our inner world. It's my very favorite Sanskrit word, which is chittavritti. It's probably my favorite word because that's what my mind is full of. It's the layer that I have the most difficult time getting through. I can file away my thoughts. I can recognize and embrace my emotions. But the chittavritti is the chit-chat of the mind, that constant chatter or this flow of thoughts that are in and out and all over my mind. It's one of the main reasons that I really love meditation and yoga because it's when I can slow down the chit-chat in my mind. In this layer, you can access the lens that we use to view our world. We can notice our mental patterns, and we can even begin to see how these patterns affect our interactions with both ourself and our mind. We're not going to judge or analyze or change it. but we're just going to note it. If we have negative or dark thoughts or emotions, or if we have negative self talk, the lens that we see ourselves or see others through is going to be dark or maybe a bit smudgy. Everything we see then and all of our interactions with the world are also going to be dark and smudgy because we're looking through that. But again, you're not cleaning it if it is dark and smudgy. You're not explaining or analyzing why it's that way. You're just noting it. The fourth sheath is the Vijnamaya kosha, or our intuition. Our mind may be constantly screaming at us, the chittavritti. But our intuition, it's more of a whisper. It's super subtle. And so because of that, unfortunately, we're often not tuned into it. But if we can start to access it by making our way through the stories and through the narratives and through the pain, we can listen to it and develop a clarity to connect to our inner self, our fifth layer, the Andamaya kosha, and bliss. Now, all along, I've been referring to this as a kosha practice because just like yoga and meditation, all of this is just a practice. As cool as it would be, it's not like we're going to peel back these layers like an onion and reach bliss and we're just there. It's not like a video game that you're going to get through the levels to win. How many licks to get to the Tootsie and a Tootsie Pop, right? It's actually a practice. And so even if I was able to work my way through some of the clunky layers and not feel off like I can, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to go back to being that way at other times. Can you observe yourself, though, as a witness, just looking on without judgment, without thinking or planning or analyzing? Can you peel back the sheaths to take a peek at yourself? Thank you so much for listening and for spending this time with me. I hope today that you can actually look at yourself just for a few minutes. If you've enjoyed the show, please share it with your friends to help us build our community. Find me on socials on Instagram and TikTok at Reframing Me. On YouTube, it's Reframing Me. And on Facebook, it's Reframing Me, and join the Facebook group, Reframing Me, the podcast community. And don't forget, the website's up and running now, reframing-me.com. Until next time, be well, communicate, and take a look at yourself.